When we were growing up, it was my sister, my brother, myself, my mom and dad. We had the small apartment on the first floor. My dad was the super there. And we always had dinner together. We all sat around the table, had dinner together, and had good times. We did a lot of laughing. My sister and I used to clown around a little bit. And you know, we didn't have TVs in those days. You had a radio. We sat in the foyer and we sat and listened to the radio, the different stories and music. And we had a good time, though. I had a grandpa, but he used to say, when you eat and somebody serves you hot food, you sit down and eat. You don't talk. Wait till after you eat and then you eat. Talk afterwards for hours.
Born in Brooklyn, New York, the Bayward section in Brooklyn. I had an older sister and brother. I was the baby.
Were you guys close, or was it?
My brother and I were a year and a half apart.
Okay.
My sister was
4 years old.
4 to 5 years. Oh, we used to go to Coney Island. I'll take a suitcase full of sandwiches. We went to the World's Fair in 1939. Okay, yeah, had all the rides.
Yeah.
Merry-go-round rides, roller coaster rides. Because the war started then in 1941. And my father worked in the shipyard where they had a lot of work.
Did you guys feel like, you said the war started, did you feel like you noticed it in your everyday life, or was it kind of a distant...
We more than noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you went out once in a while, her father was an air raid warden. When they sounded the sirens, Sammy would go out and blow the whistle. Everybody put the shades down. They were dark shades. If you had to, get under the kitchen table. Or if you're in school, sit up against, similar to what you would do in Illinois when they had an earthquake. Yeah.
In school, we had to, have drills.
Yeah.
And we had to go into the hallway and sit down and put our head down, put your head down. And I used to always say, if we do get bombed, I want to be home when I die. I didn't want to die in school. But that was frightening when you're young,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Did you know what was going on? Like, did you know what the war was about, or did you, was that, because you guys were young?
They talked about it in school, We had the newspaper. Like I said, we didn't have television, so we couldn't visualize it that way.
Yeah. And then what was your relationship like with Grandma Nancy or Grandma Edna?
Well, I'll say in our family, we had to listen to our mom and dad. You never answered them back. And whatever they said, that was the law. We had no choice in anything. When we were young, my sister and I were not allowed to wear slacks. We moved to Old Bridge. My dad came with us, and I was a grown woman with 3 children, and I still didn't wear pants because that was instilled in me.
I met her on a blind date because there was a girl on the block, Peggy Martin, worked with her in the bank. And I went on from there.
The second date, he proposed to me.
Gets earlier and earlier every time she tells a story.
I said, no, are you crazy? I'm not going to marry you. But that's how we met. He had to take 2 trains to come to a subway to come into the Bronx. It was almost like an hour's ride.
Yeah, it was like a long distance kind of thing.
You would never do it nowadays.
No.
But you wouldn't make it.
So you said you guys met at a blind date, and then what would you guys do for dates? I know,
We went to do a lot of movies.
Movies.
When we were first, married, then we'd take weekend trips to the Catskills.
And the Poconos.
How long were you guys dating before you got engaged or married?
Well, he was in the service then.
Yeah,
he went into the Navy.
Oh, okay.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
So then when he came out, we got engaged. And then we got married a year after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just got out of the Navy for that weekend because they wouldn't get
for your wedding.
Yeah, so you came home the day before the wedding.
Oh yeah. Before the wedding.
Well, you said your honeymoon. The hotel was, what was it that night? It was like $12 or $12.
$12.50.
Now it's the richest hotel.
Rented 1 room from Mrs. Wade. It was a big old-fashioned home, and she took in different service people. There was two others besides
Two
us.
other sailors, yeah.
So she rented, you just had the room, and then the kitchen, you had to share it. You had certain time you can use it, make breakfast if you want.
So almost like a dorm style.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were never allowed to go in each other's room.
Was that kind of living situation common for that time?
Yeah. And what happened when we were down south in Virginia, they didn't like Italian people. They didn't like Jewish. They didn't like anybody with dark hair. I don't know. But they were very prejudiced there. They just didn't like us. Don't tell me about Southern hospitality. There was none down there. Yeah, I told you I got fired. I got pregnant right away. But 9.5 months after I got married, not before.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I was getting sick in the morning, so I went over to one of the bosses there, and I said, I was late, got throwing up. So I went in, I said, just want to tell you that I'm pregnant. That's why, in case I'm coming in a little late, I'm not, So he comes over to me, he says, I talked to, the manager or whatever he said to me, and he says, I'm sorry, but we have to fire you. You can stay for the rest of the day.
Because you were pregnant and we're going to be late?
Yeah. You know what I got? I sat there and I said, I told him the truth, and then he's doing that to me. So I watched into his office, and I said, I want to tell you something. I says, I'm Italian and Catholic. I came from New York. I know I said that to him. I don't remember the exact words. I says, I don't know. Up there, we tell the truth, and that's how it is. So then I walked out of his office. Not even 10 minutes later, he comes over. He says, I talked to them again. He says, we're not going to fire you.